Okay, so if you're already feeling that kind of pop culture burnout from last year,
Oh, definitely.
brace yourself. Because 2026 it's not a gentle wave of new content. It feels more like a tsunami.
It really does.
We're talking closures, huge sequels, and these, long-awaited returns. And it feels like two completely opposed forces are defining the whole year.
That's a great way to put it. On one side, you have this relentless stack of major anime sequels just dropping one after the other.
Demanding your attention every week.
And on the other side, the final, very deliberate, and frankly, pretty confusing end to Netflix's biggest show, Stranger Things.
It's a huge divergence in how content is being delivered, and it just creates so much noise.
Right. So our mission today is to cut through all of that for you. We're doing a deep dive into the sources covering this, overwhelming landscape.
Basically a shortcut.
Exactly. A shortcut to the key storylines, the release schedules, and the big themes, especially that contrast between the rapid-fire anime world and the emotionally weighty but logically tricky conclusion of the Stranger Things saga.
And the sources really do paint this as a comeback year. We've got articles calling it the year of anime comebacks, and then just tons of analyses and fan threads on the Stranger Things finale, The Right Side Up.
Yeah, covering the ambiguous ending, the spin-offs, and of course the big debate over plot holes.
Okay, let's start there. Let's unpack this really aggressive winter anime schedule first.
So when you look at winter 2026, you can see the industry isn't just, dropping sequels. They're capitalizing on massive emotional cliffhangers almost immediately.
So no breathing room at all.
None. The winter's all about established hits, closing out these huge arcs right away.
The intensity is just undeniable. First up, January 9th, we get Jujutsu Kaisen Season 3.
And this is huge. It's the adaptation of The Culling Game Part 1. So it's diving right into the immediate explosive fallout from the Shibuya incident arc.
Which totally redefined the series.
Right. You're being thrown straight into the deep end with that one.
And then, just a few days later, January 14th, we have Oshinoko Season 3.
Yeah, and what's so fascinating there is this almost immediate, really dramatic flip in character motivation.
Right. This is the sibling goal reversal.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Last season, Aqua kind of gives up on revenge. He thinks his father is dead.
Right.
But now Ruby finds out who killed Guru Onomiya, and she becomes obsessed with finding the killer.
So they basically switch roles.
They do.
Mm-hmm.
And the sources say it just injects this completely new dramatic engine into the whole show.
And speaking of rapid returns, January 16th, Frieren, Beyond Journey's End Season 2. That's a really quick turnaround for a show that was an instant classic.
It is, but the excitement is a little dampened. There's one detail the sources flagged.
What's that?
Well, the first season gave us this really generous 28 episodes. Season 2 was reportedly only 10.
Oh, that is disappointing. I mean, Season 1 was the highest rated anime ever on my anime list.
I know. Still, the journey continues north, and we get to see more of Frieren, Fern, and Stark.
And we also have big finales happening right in that January window. Fire Force Season 3, Part 2 on January 10th. That's the end of the whole story.
Yep. The series closes with Shinra and Inka having to time travel through Adala to save the future. So even the finales are happening fast and early.
Okay, so let's move past winter. What about the rest of the year? I'm thinking about the huge conclusions set for spring and summer.
Right. So April 2026, we get the final part of Dr. Stone, Science Future Part 3.
This is the spaceship moment.
This is the spaceship moment. Senku finally teams up with his old rival, Dr. Zeno, to build it and confront Wyman on the moon. It's the ultimate scientific climax.
Wow.
Then in July, Bleach, 1,000-year blood war of the calamity. The absolute final part of that massive war arc.
And the rumors are already flying about Ichigo.
Oh, yeah. The reports are all hinting that he's going to unleash some kind of new, incredibly powerful form to end the war.
And then looking into the fall, October 2026, we've got another quick return with the Apothecary Diaries Season 3.
That fast turnaround is really interesting, especially since Season 2 only just finished in spring 2025.
And this new season is supposed to lean into the romance.
Heavily. It's building on those big revelations from Season 2 about Jinshi's real identity, as the Emperor's younger brother. It's shifting from a pure mystery to high-stakes political drama.
This whole high-volume schedule kind of leads us to a bigger conversation about the industry itself. We should probably talk about some of the long-delayed returns.
We absolutely have to talk about Black Clover Season 2.
The 5-year gap.
Exactly. It's expected back in October 2026, After ending its first run way back in 2021, it picks up right at the start of the Spade Kingdom raid arc.
5 years is a long time.
It is, and it raises a lot of questions. But if you want to talk about real industry pressure and hiatuses, you have to talk about Hunter x Hunter.
Of course, the mangaka, Yoshihiro Togashi, and his health issues.
It's just this chronic, debilitating situation. But what's really fascinating is what the sources call the fandom's endless patience.
They celebrate every single update.
Every single one. So the pattern we expect for 2026 is probably another 10-chapter weekly drop. It just highlights the unsustainable demands on these creators.
That context is so important. Okay, so moving away from sequels for a second, there's some really unique adaptations coming. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Steel Ball Run on March 19th. I'm just going to read this plot summary. A paraplegic jockey, a 19th century horse race, a presidential conspiracy, and a religious artifact tied to Jesus Christ.
I mean, it's JoJo. It embraces the absurd. This story is just wildly ambitious.
It's an Olympic-level jump in lore.
It is. You have Johnny Joestar, the paraplegic jockey, teaming up with a former executioner named Gyro Zappelli, and the race becomes this huge conspiracy to find a holy artifact. It's a lot.
And we've also got Sekiro: No Defeat, the adaptation of the From Software game. What's the big story with its production?
The big story is the production philosophy. It's being marketed as a fully hand-drawn adaptation.
So a direct response to audience fears about AI.
Exactly. It's a deliberate promise of a high-quality, human-crafted experience, which is a really important industry signal right now.
And that connects to the bigger picture, right? Even the biggest franchise is adjusting its strategy. What's happening with One Piece and the Elbaf arc in April?
It's a huge shift. They're choosing quality over quantity. One Piece is slowing down its pace to a maximum of 26 episodes a year, split into 2 courses.
The goal being less filler.
Less filler, higher animation quality, and more respect for the source material. It's a major industry decision.
So the contrast here is just, it's stark. You've got the anime industry trying to balance this frantic pace with quality control and creator health.
Right.
And that stands in direct opposition to the slow, deliberate, and final act of Stranger Things. After almost 10 years, how did the analyses break down that finale, the right side up?
They saw it as a finale built for pure emotional impact. You had the huge showdown where Vecna fully merges with the Mind Flayer, becoming that, terrifying spider monster.
And the final fight was on 2 fronts.
Exactly. 11, Kali and Max fought him in his mind, while Joyce took him out in the real world. She actually decapitated him.
And Hopper and Murray blew up the Upside Down.
They did. Triggered the explosives, destroyed it completely.
That sounds pretty conclusive, but what about 11's fate? That was left very open.
Deliberately open.
Yeah.
She definitely appeared to sacrifice herself as everything is collapsing, but the creative team left it ambiguous.
So the audience could choose their own ending.
Right. The consensus is that Mike's final line, suggesting she survived because of one of Kali's illusions, was permission for the audience to believe in a happier ending for her.
And then we jump forward 18 months to clean everything up.
That time jump really let the show prioritize comfort and closure. The destruction in Hawkins. Officially, it was a massive earthquake.
Very convenient.
So everyone can move on. Steve is coaching Little League, Dustin graduates, Hopper and Joyce get engaged.
This is where we hit that logical firewall. The sources were clear. While the ending worked on a nostalgic level, the big critique was that it prioritized nostalgia and comfort over logic.
And this is where we have to look at how the show kind of broke its own established rules to get to that ending.
Let's get into those top-tier plot holes. What were they?
Okay, first the upside-down timeline. It's just completely inexplicable. Why was it frozen on the exact date Will was taken in Season 1? The show never answers that.
Right.
Second, the creature management issue. Where were the Demodogs and Demobots? They were Vecna's army, but they were completely gone during that final battle.
It just felt like a convenience to clear the field for the heroes.
It did. And then you have the Will Byers problem.
His connection to the hive mind.
It just fluctuated whenever the plot needed it to. He was deeply affected when Henry was hurt in a memory, but then completely fine when Vecna and the Mind Flayer were being, impaled and torched.
The writers just picked and chose when his connection was active.
It seems that way.
Yeah.
And finally, the huge one. The government. How did this group of kids who killed soldiers and destroyed federal facilities just walk away free?
Yeah, that's a massive logical leap.
It is. The strong theory is that the government just covered the whole thing up, call it a natural disaster, because prosecuting the kids would mean revealing the Upside Down existed.
Okay, that brings us to the biggest piece of lore that fans felt was sort of gatekept. The origin of that rock Henry Creel found, the thing that gave him his powers.
Right. The show never explained it, and the Duffer Brothers basically confirmed the answer isn't in the main series.
It's in the spin-off.
It's in the spin-off. They said the new show will provide answers to those lingering questions related to Henry's memory, which includes the rock.
So the spin-off is basically a lore correction.
It is, but it's a huge step away from the original. They've said completely new characters, new town, new world, new mythology.
No common characters at all.
None. And you should know some of Henry's backstory, specifically his origin being linked to the USS Eldridge military experiment from World War II, was actually revealed in the Broadway play.
The first shadow.
Right. And fans were not happy about that, feeling like essential info was locked behind a different, less accessible medium.
That is a very modern media complaint. Okay, let's switch gears and apply that psychoanalytic lens the sources talked about. Let's look at 11 as a cultural figure.
Yeah, we can really understand her as the child hero archetype, following that classic hero's journey. But her entire heroic function is rooted in this intense, complex childhood trauma from the Hawkins lab.
She basically meets the clinical criteria for PTSD.
She does. Persistent flashbacks, hypervigilance, and that really crucial negative self-perception where she truly believes she's the monster.
Which makes her journey so much more powerful.
Absolutely. Her past just completely stunted her psychosocial development, Erikson's stages.
Yeah.
She couldn't trust. She had language delays. But her journey from being the number 11 to claiming her name, Jane, is her resolving that core identity crisis.
So she was, in essence, the perfect symbol for 1980s government paranoia.
That is the cultural analysis, exactly. Her whole story just reflected all those popular conspiracy theories of the decade. Project MK-Ultra, Project Montauk, the Stargate Project.
All about psychic abilities and mind control experiments.
Right. And so her victories over the Demogorgon and the Mind Flayer, they provided the audience with an unconscious release from those very real societal anxieties.
The victim of the conspiracy becomes the one who conquers it.
Exactly. It's deep catharsis for that fear of hidden science and government overreach. So to kind of sum up the 2026 landscape, we've got this massive year for sequels and finales, balancing huge hits like Jujutsu Kaisen with new industry approaches like One Piece slowing down or the hand-drawn Sekiro. And at the same time, the Stranger Things universe is both closed with Vecna's death and immediately reopened with a spin-off designed to answer the logical questions the finale left behind.
That balance is key. And considering how 11's journey gave us catharsis for those 80s anxieties about mind control, what contemporary anxieties is this new wave of pop culture trying to help us conquer?
That's a great question.
I mean, think about the Sekiro adaptation explicitly saying it won't use AI, or the return of classics like Ghost in the Shell. Is this next generation of stories here to help us face our fears about digital privacy or AI dominance? It's something for you to mull over as you start adding all those 2026 titles to your watch list.